What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the last week. This week, handful of topics. Hit the like button and let's jump right into it. First, let's start with an extension of last week's topic of Horizon Hobby purchasing Proline Racing. Tomorrow, the presidents of Horizon and Proline are going to do a live feed, and Matt from the Scale Builders Guild is going to moderate it. So if you're free tomorrow and you want to watch the live discussion or participate and ask some questions about this new acquisition by Horizon Hobbies, this would be a great time to go talk to the actual presidents of each company, which are now, president and maybe a vice president. Who knows where the president of Proline is exactly going to fall in the hierarchy of the Horizon, but maybe that'd be a good question for tomorrow's feed. So check out all of the details. I'll link to it where you can go watch it in the description below. Check that out. I'll have links to the rest of today's stories as well. Seeing both of these individuals come to do a live stream together after this type of thing with two very well-known brands in the industry to kind of just open up a little bit and hopefully give some insight what's going to happen, what their future plans are, how everything is going to integrate. Should be a really interesting discussion. I'm looking forward to watching it myself. And further, speaking of the Horizon and Proline merger, last week on the live Wednesday show that Matt and I do, we had Paul from Proline on, and he came on and he had a few minutes to talk to us about the acquisition, kind of how everything was going. The employees only found out just a few days before everything went public. But at this point, Proline is said to be going to be operating as they were out of their facility, making parts for all of the brands that they were previously, including Traxxas, and they'll continue to develop new parts for them as well. At least that's what's been stated so far. So at this point, everything's being presented as everything's just going to keep moving status quo. I'm sure all of us that are in the hobby will be watching closely just to see if we can sense any changes though. And if you don't catch the live show between the president of Proline and Horizon, you can always watch our live takeover Wednesday as well. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can check Matt and I out on either of our channels. We broadcast to both of them. Next, we've got a couple of body set releases from RC 4-Wheel Drive. Not too long ago, we saw RC 4-Wheel Drive release two new Defender 2015 edition Land Rover models. Now they're releasing both of those body sets separately. You can either get the SUV style or the half cab style. Both of them are available. I think the half cab looks best, even though I'm not a huge Defender fan in general, but regardless, still pretty good looking body sets. If you're looking for these are a shorter wheelbase body set. Very complete though, lots of functioning parts. If you're a Land Rover fan, definitely worth checking out at least. And then next, another Land Rover Defender body set release. This one though is from Loops. This is a long bed half cab version. So it's like the other one, but longer. And I'm not sure which model year this is supposed to represent. All Defenders look basically the same, so call it whatever you want to call it, I guess. Check out Loops though if you've never heard of them. They have a huge selection of hard bodies that you can pick up from them. I believe that they're based out of Europe, so take that into account when you're looking at shipping times and currency exchange, all that kind of stuff. But again, huge selection of hard bodies. If you're a hard body fan, definitely worth checking out, getting something different than the yellow Bronco Walmart body that everybody is bolting onto every rig right now. Next, let's talk about the releases from Arrma. First, the new Felony. This is a muscle car inspired on-road basher style car from Arrma that looks good. Like I said, it's muscle car style. The Arrma team is based out of the UK, and I think this is kind of a UK version of a muscle car. It still looks pretty good though. It comes with some optional hood accessories to make this thing look a lot more like a Hoonicorn knockoff thing than it already is. You can get the velocity stacks, the twin turbos, or a true blower style that you can put right in the center of the hood. But it's got extra wide and a little bit taller tires in the rear than in the front, but the gearing is matched to make sure that everything handles properly. It's on the Arrma platform, which means cross compatibility of parts is huge. Replacement part availability is plentiful. Everything about these platforms is just pretty well dialed in. The demo models of these are already hitting all of the hobby shop shelves. So if you have a local hobby shop close to you, you may be able to walk in and see one of these units sitting on the counter. it's worth making that trip to do so if you get the chance. I'll link to it in the description below as well. You can pre-order it now and they're gonna be shipping real soon. So get your order in soon. Hopefully you can get in on that first batch. I'm sure that these things are gonna be popular. And then Arrma also released a V2 version of the Infraction. The Infraction came out last June, I believe. So a little over a year ago at this point. When it came out, it was Arrma's first, I believe, kind of road car basher setup. And I was amazed with this thing as soon as it got released, and I bought one right away. This is just a little bit of, tweaks and upgrades that they've done to that platform with a couple of different liveries. But what I think is the coolest thing that they added was a mechanical handbrake. This is a mechanical disc brake module that goes just on the back side of that center differential to give you a true lock-up handbrake function for hooning around. I don't care who you are, that's a cool function to add. I'm 100% on board with this, and it just reminds me that I need to drive my Infraction more than I do. The new liveries that they've put on the bodies look great as well. Again, Arrma's just kind of knocking it out of the park with some of these releases. Next, more monthly mayhem. Matt and I started the OMG 63 challenge here recently, where we're taking the TRX 6x6 platform, trying to make it go as fast as possible. Last week was the first week of actual upgrades. I pushed my TRX already to above 50 miles an hour. I'll link to the videos from Matt and I in the description below. You can go check out the series that we've got started already. And then Wednesday, tomorrow, if you're watching this as soon as it comes out, you'll see week 3, where we're trying to push these things even further. Only have a couple of weeks left after that. Try and reach our final goals and see if I can kind of even the score a little bit on monthly mayhem. Proline released all of the details on their Pro 32 pitch transmission for the Slash and Rustler base. This is a pre-assembled, fully built Traxxas transmission. This is a great use if you're trying to upgrade a Slash or Rustler, or I figure if specifically you're trying to build kind of a custom from scratch drag car, as there's a lot of aftermarket chassis for the Slash that you could just buy this piece, drop it in there. Then you significantly cut down the shopping list of parts that you need to complete a drag car. Looks like you can order these now. If you order it through Proline, you can use Harley 10 at checkout and you save 10% and I get a little bit of a kickback. Or you can shop through the A-Main or any of the other places. I'll link multiples below. And then this is a story that I missed last week during the huge list of stories that we had, but it's definitely worth circling back to, and that is the Orlandoo Rock Bouncer release. Orlandoo has 1/32 scale RC car, and I actually built one a few weeks back on one of our live Friday night kit builds. And I mean, it's the size of your cell phone, basically, teeny tiny. Overall though, the construction of these things is not too bad. The screws are tiny, your fingers will hurt for days. It's a pain, but for what they are, it's kind of impressive, especially for the cost. But they released this Rock Bouncer model, which has a pretty good looking cage. I don't know that the tires are all that fitting for a Rock Bouncer look, but not that that's a huge deal. So if you feel like cursing your eyesight or just feel like destroying your fingertips for a few days, put this one on your shopping list. You'll hate me later. But that's gonna do it for the news topics for this week. For a question this week, we've had some fun new releases lately. Those Arrma cars that we talked about this week look great. The Losi Laser Nut car that we discussed last week, I think is also an absolute blast to drive. So if you had the choice between the new Arrma Felony, the new Losi Laser Nut car, or $500 that you got to upgrade one of your current vehicles, which would it be? I think I'd have to go with adding a new car to my stable, and I think I'd have to go with a laser nut just because it's more along the lines of what I could find myself driving most often. But let me know which one you would choose and why in the comments below. Appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks for joining me every Tuesday. I hope you have an awesome rest of the week. Hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.